Today on Teuty's track analysis, we have the track of the day for the 16th of May, Vitascope by Keissla. Vitascope is a mixed surface track and it's made from equal parts grass and road. It also has a couple of super turbo boosts at the very end of the track. It has just a single finish line with no speed requirements. There's also one very minor speed check in the track. It does not contain any cuts, and there is also no GPS on the track. As for the difficulty of the track, I found it slightly harder than an average track of the day, rating it a 6 out of 10. I felt the medal times were slightly easier than an average track of the day, with my personal best of a 47.055, coming in about 9/10 ahead of the author medal time of 47.945. The gold medal time on the track was 51 seconds, the silver medal was 58 seconds, and the bronze medal 1 minute and 12 seconds. And that will conclude the overview for Vitascope. Let's move on to the route analysis. For the route analysis today, we are using the current world record ghost driven by complex statics. They had a time of 46.233, and this beats my personal best by 0.822. At the very start for this opening turn, we'll see the world record swing out a little bit wider to the right to approach this turn, while I am just kind of going straight ahead from the start. I really don't think there's any difference between these two approaches because as we see moving a little bit forward here, we both end up in the same exact spot. Moving up a little bit, this is where the first little difference in the track is going to be with the world record swinging out a little bit wider to the left here to give them a more direct line through this corner, while here I'm kind of just still going straight and going to have to turn a little bit harder in order to make the same turn. And like I said, it was a pretty small difference there. It only cost us about a car length of difference here, so really not the biggest of deals. Also on this straighter parts of the grass before the road, you want to attempt to speed slide to gain any extra little speed you can. And then moving up here towards the first drift, we both started a little bit left of center and a couple car lengths ahead of this checkpoint. Usually I'm not the best at drifting, and here I do overslide a little bit. However, it was still a very good drift for my standards, and I'm very happy with how well I came out of it. As we move on to this grass section, again, you want to do some speed wiggles or slides here to gain that extra speed. You do have to be careful, however, because you will most likely be gearing up into gear 5, and you do not want to be steering while that happens. And one last thing for this section is the approach to this upcoming 180-degree grass turn. You need to start out here very wide to the left and be very aggressive on your steering for the entire section. I steer a little bit too late here, and this will almost cause me to slide out a little too much and hit the wall. Luckily, I will still manage to make it through cleanly. Also, during this part, it is also basically impossible to not gear down back into 4, so really no avoiding that. You kind of just have to eat that. Not really a big fan of that, but it is what it is. Very minor thing on the exit here is just to try to take it straight down the center. Too high to the left or too low to the right here is going to result in a small amount of airtime. Then coming up, just a fairly basic right-hand turn, and then onto the grass section, you want to basically just take the best inside line possible, avoiding touching the penalty grass both here and right there. Overall, I will lose a little bit of time here just because the world record took a better inside line around the initial turn. I'll gain a little bit of speed back, however, due to my more straight line approach around the second penalty grass section, but overall still a time loss. And here is the last drift in the track, and this is where the world record will basically start theirs right off of the grass, while I will start mine about a half a second later here. Overall, this is a pretty huge difference. We're still going to come out of it with the same speed, however, I am going to fall quite a farther distance behind. As far as the upcoming jump goes, wasn't the biggest fan of it due to gearing issues here. Can very easily be jumping off of this in a high gear 4, which means when you land, you'll probably gear up into 5 and you'll get a slowdown upon landing. So hopefully you had enough speed coming in and you gear up into gear 5 before the jump, but it is certainly not easy to do. You also want to be jumping off a little bit low here on the ramp, and you want to be turning towards the left a little bit as you leave so your car will spin and you will get a proper landing. Due to a couple of things here, I'm going to lose a massive amount of time. First of all, I didn't turn enough to the left before the jump to spin my car enough. and I also won't be aggressive enough on this turn itself, and I'm going to slide way too far to the outside, and of course that is not ideal. Immediately right away when I was driving this, I recognized that I was not aggressive enough here, was pretty upset with myself, and this is going to lose me like a quarter of a second as we make our way towards the finish. Hopefully you're able to get the inside line that the world record did, or at least better than I did. This will make the next inside line for the right-hand turn much easier, and that's basically all you have to do to get to the end. And that'll do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Check the description for links to my Twitch and Discord, and be sure to check out all the other track analysis videos out on the channel already. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next one.